I was impressed with how many people from how many various walks of life were out there doing the same thing. We had one vision where you can have, church group that was down there, Democrats that were down there, and the Revolutionary Communist Party that was down there, and they were all getting together and doing the same thing. And when they probably wouldn't necessarily work together any other time. It was brilliant in that respect. A couple of other things that were just amazing for me was that the amount of consideration amongst the people that didn't even know each other. They were, again, all of the same mind. They were working together very well. I was with one march of several thousand people, and we hooked up with another march of steel workers and demonstrators of several thousand people. And when these two groups merged, it was one of the most incredible things I could ever possibly see in my life. It was amazing, where you have at least 5,000 people just started cheering, like, yes, it didn't matter, things like that. Another thing that really impacted me quite a bit was actually it detracts a little bit from the issues of why we were there, the WTO, but some of the indiscriminate violence by the police was amazing. At one point we were trying to get out of the downtown area. We're like, okay, we're done, we're getting shot at, this is crazy. We moved into traffic going, okay, well, they're not going to shoot commuters, we can just go through traffic and get out of the downtown area. And they started concussion grenading and rubber bullet and tear gassing people that were in their cars. And people were getting out of their cars and leaving and coming with us. And we said, this is nuts. The cops aren't gonna, let off. Let's go down into Pikes Market and get out that way. We get down to Pikes Market, and they try to surround us there. And there were tourists there and shoppers, and they were, shooting at them just like they were shooting at anybody else. It was truly insane. It was amazing to see suddenly, and I know this, but to witness and be part of it, to see them indiscriminately just being violent to anybody was amazing. And then that night going home, and we're laughing and we're like, yeah, we did such a great job, and turning on the TV in the one wobbly house I was staying at and watching news coverage, and they're filming this burning box of USA's Today, and we're laughing going, oh, they're spending all this time watching $50 worth of USA Today burning, and we're laughing, we're making jokes, we're going, oh no, the humanity, and they kept filming it, and they kept filming it, and then suddenly we stopped with the jokes, and we're realizing this is how mainstream media is going to spin it. They're going to spin it away from any of the real issues, away from Venezuela suing the United States for Clean Air Act, away from the EU suing the United States for, or the United States suing the EU for bovine growth hormone beef. All of these real issues, they're gonna ditch all those and focus in on a stack of USA Today's burning, and that was what the news was. And we realized, okay, we need to start creating our own media. It was amazing. Clinton was leaning on the mayor of Seattle to clean up the streets. Madeleine Albright was leaning on the governor because she couldn't get out of her hotel room, and the governor leaned on the mayor. And so the governor also called out the National Guard. So the violence in the streets got heated up on the second day of the actions. That was December 1st. And I mentioned it before, but we were trying to, the group that I was with, it was a couple thousand, kept getting split up. So the several hundred people eventually that I was with were trying to get out of Seattle, get out of the downtown area. And we kept hoping we can make it, hook up back with the steelworkers. If we can hook up with the steelworkers have a popularity that I think the police would hesitate a little bit to throw concussion grenades into a steelworker rally. It could get very messy that way. So we were trying to get back to the steelworkers, and it seemed like the police did not want us to do that. So they surrounded us at three sides, and we were very far outside of the military, the closed-off area in the downtown area. And we realized that we were going to all get mass arrested. And so myself, another wobbly, and a friend who's a steel worker that was with us decided we're going to run into the labor temple. We get inside the labor temple. Most of the group went down the street. The three of us jumped into the labor temple, and we went upstairs to talk directly to Ron Judd, who's the president of the Seattle Central Labor Council. And I was kind of concerned because the IWW, the Seattle Central Labor Council, is an AFL-CIO organization, and historically the AFL and the IWW have not gotten along. Right now we're probably just like a minor thorn in their side because they have a lot of the economic power and we don't. But still, they don't like our get rid of capitalism gestures. We get into his office and we say, hey, we've got longshoremen, steel workers, wobblies, Teamsters all getting their asses kicked outside right in front of the labor temple by the police. He goes, what? What are you saying? Who are you? I said, I'm a wobbly, he's a steel worker. And there was a pause for a second, and I was thinking to myself, is this where Ron Judd says, get the hell out of here? I don't want to hear this? Or does he say, oh my God, let's do something about it? And he turns around and he says, all right, open up all the doors downstairs. We're turning the labor temple into a sanctuary. And my jaw just dropped. I couldn't hope for anything more. I was like, wow, right on. And so we run downstairs, and I guess the building manager was locking the doors, trying to make sure that nobody came in. And Ron Judd went off on him, said, no, open up all these doors. I want these doors propped open, everybody inside, get them in the hallways, fill this place up. And it was amazing to see this guy who, he's definitely not, necessarily this hero in my mind, but what he was doing then was pretty amazing. And he then walked to the front of the line because a bunch of people didn't get surrounded. And he went to walk through the police line, and the police thwacked him with a stick. And he goes, do you know, he goes, I've got people in there I'm going through. And they, pushed him back. He goes, do you know who I am? And they said, I don't give a fuck who you are. And it was amazing that this man that holds so much political power in Seattle was treated like shit. I mean, I've heard other things about like council people getting gassed, but then suddenly two longshoremen step up behind Ron Judd, and Ron Judd, he's not a really big guy, he's a pretty small guy, and these cops are pretty big, and then these two longshoremen step up, and they're huge, they're monsters, and they just looked at these cops and said, you don't want to do that. And I'm sitting there taking pictures, going, oh my God, I'm going to win the Pulitzer Prize, thinking, oh, here, I got photographs of, police and longshoremen and Ron Judd scrapping on the ground, and Ron Judd stepped back, and so it de-escalated right there, but I was pretty impressed with what he did. And
did he get anyone in the building?
No. A handful of people got inside, but that was called the Big Scoop. That was when the police rounded up like 300 people. They actually had to let, I think, 30 of them go or something because they didn't have enough room on the buses to arrest them all. And yeah, we probably missed it by a minute or two while we're riding up in the elevator to get everybody inside. And we would have been able to, that would have been brilliant. That would have been something fantastic.
That's when all the buses were parked over by Denny.
Yeah. This was down by the Labor Temple. It was a block away. They moved everybody 1 block away from the Labor Temple, and they started getting everybody. Yeah, it was amazing. And the three of us were of a handful of people that got away.